This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com and GatheringMagic.com, your place to explore the game.
Hi, my name's Shaun, and this is my Phage the Untouchable deck. Alright, hi again. This is my Phage the Untouchable deck. Phage costs 7 to cast. She's a 4/4. And when Phage the Untouchable enters the battlefield, if you didn't cast it from your hand, you lose the game. And whenever Phage deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature. It can't be regenerated. Whenever Phage deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. The command zone is not in your hand. So I'm going to show you some tricks to get Phage out of the command zone and go ahead and get her on the battlefield. I've been phaged by my own Phage so many times, so I have no problem attacking somebody with this and making them lose the game with it, because it happens to be too super risky deck to play. But it's a lot of fun, and it's really interesting to kind of see how other people try and deal with it, and also you kind of got to really be on your triggers. It's not an easy deck to play, I would say. It's kind of a harder deck to play, but you really gotta know what's going on with stuff entering the battlefield, or people trying to steal your creature, or trying to blink your creature. Stuff like that. So anyway, let's get into the deck, and I'll try and explain what's going on here. So here's Phage. Here we go. All right, so we got let's see, 20 basic swamps. 20 basic swamps here. All right. We got Petrified Field, so I can sacrifice Petrified Field, return target land from your graveyard to your hand. And Volrath's Stronghold, so put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. So this is recursion for creatures and for Phage. I don't want to put her back in the command zone once I get her out if I don't have to. Buried Ruin is it's just some artifact recursion, so I got a few artifacts in here. Ghost Quarter, just a way to take care of stuff like Maze of Ith or whatever. Dust Bowl, another way to destroy creatures, or I'm sorry, destroy non-basic lands if I need to. Phyrexian Tower. So this is sacrifice a creature, add 2 black to your mana pool. It's a sack outlet, just in case something's happening to Phage that I don't want it to happen to her. I can use this real quick to get her out of play. High Market, another sack outlet. Again, same idea. Bojuka Bog, just a utility land to take care of people who are using their graveyards too much. Hall of the Bandit Lord, a nice way to get Phage some haste and get her going nice and fast. Urborg, having a bunch. Well, I got all the Cabal Coffers stuff in here, so you'll see that here in a second. There's Cabal Coffers, lines up with Urborg. Nykthos, another kind of ramp. You know, Phage costs a lot. She costs 7, so, and there's a lot of other expensive cards in here. Rogue's Passage, some nice evasion for her. Another evasion card. Target legendary creature gains fear until the end of the turn. Thespian Stage, I put some copy lands in here so I can copy other people's stuff, or I can go ahead and copy some of my own lands if I need to. Vesuva, same idea. Okay, these are Phage cards. This is how I'm going to get her out of the command zone. This is primary target number 1 that I'm going to try and go find is this new land, Command Beacon. So sacrifice Command Beacon, put your commander into your hand from your command zone, so I can cast Phage from my hand. Torpor Orb. So creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. So Phage is when she enters the battlefield, if I didn't cast it from your hand, you lose the game. So this is another thing I can look for. And if somebody's playing a lot of ETB stuff, it kind of slows them down too. So this will allow me to get Phage directly out of the command zone, as long as it doesn't get blown up before she enters the battlefield. Sundial, I can end the turn. I can cast Phage from my command zone, and then with the lose trigger on the stack, I can go ahead and end the turn. And Withering Boon, pay 3 life, counter target summon spell, neat little counter spell in black, and I can use this to get Phage directly into my graveyard, as long as somebody doesn't counter my Withering Boon, and then I lose the game. And Platinum Angel, she says you can't lose the game, so that's another way to get Phage directly out of the command zone. This is a neat card that kind of works well with Phage. So each creature has, when this creature is put into a graveyard from play, choose target opponent. That player puts this creature card from that graveyard into play under his or control at end of turn. So I could sacrifice Phage and then pick an opponent, and then Phage will enter the battlefield under their control, and they'll lose the game. And then Phage will go back to my command zone after that. Well, I would put her back into the command zone. Normally she would exile, but I just put her back into the command zone and then rinse and repeat. All right, so we need some ramp in this deck. I've been really rolling around putting in a Dark Ritual, but haven't yet. But we got Lotus Bloom, so it's an artifact. Soul Ring. Extraplanar Lens. Actually, this is kind of a huggy card, so anybody else that's playing black will be super happy to see this in play as well. Solemn Simulacrum. Lets me get land or draw a card. Everybody should know what that does. Crypt Ghast. It has Extort, and whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add black to your mana pool. Liliana of the Dark Realms. So her +1 here is really good, and I've even used her -3. I haven't gotten to the point where I've got to use the -6 yet, but I've played in a lot of games where guys have gotten it there, and I mean it's really good if you can get there. And Magus of the Coffers, Cabal Coffers on a creature. Gauntlet of Power gives us a little +1/+1 boost, and black mana would be doubled. And Cage Sun, just for me, it would double the color for me, and not anybody else. So that's kind of the selfish one. And Nirkana, this is actually a pretty good beater as well. But whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add black to your mana pool, and you can pay black, and Nirkana gets 1/1 until the end of the turn. So make her unblockable with Rogue's Passage. All right, so here's some search kind of stuff here. So this is going to let me go find whatever lands I'm looking for to either ramp or etc. Vampiric Tutor, instant, pay 2 life, search your library, put it on top of your library. Do it at the end of the player before yours turn. Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Tutor, Demonic Collusion. If I'm just holding some cards in my hand, I can do the buyback for this as well, and maybe get a few cards. We need a lot of search. There's a lot of pieces that we've got to put together to get Phage in play, so that she can do her commander stuff. Increasing Ambition, nice card because it has flashbacks, so we can use it again if we need to later on in the game. Dark Petition potentially would get me give me some extra mana along with searching my library. So it's Dark Ritual plastered down here. And Sidisi, having a little Death Toucher might be good. And Liliana, -2, search your library. Rune-Scarred Demon, when he enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. Alright, Haste Enablers and a little bit of spell protection for Phage, because people are going to be trying to get rid of her, so there's that. Lightning Greaves. Alright, so here's some more evasion for Phage. So here's some non-basic land walk, Trailblazer Boots. Whispersilk Cloak, Unblockable and Shroud. Dauthi Embrace, so tap 2 black, target creature gains shadow until the end of the turn. So this creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with shadow. There's not too many creatures in Commander, or at least in games that I've seen, that actually have shadow. Every once in a while I see one, but it's not too common. Filth, put it on the battlefield for a while, sacrifice it when it's necessary, and give all my creatures Swamp Walk. With their Urborg out, everybody has swamps. Phyrexian Reclamation, I can pay 2 and pay 2 life and return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So this is a little recursion here, a way to get my stuff back into my hand for my graveyard. So pretty good. Codex Shredder, I can just before my turn, if nobody does anything to this, then I could go ahead and just kind of mill somebody, and then down here I can get any card from my graveyard back to my hand if I pay 5. So nice little instant here. So return X target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. If board wipe happens, then I can go get some of that stuff back. And board wipe is most likely going to happen with this deck. And then Crucible, nice way to get my lands back out of my graveyard. That command beacon, I'm just always chasing after that command beacon so that I can get Phage back out. But there's some other stuff, land destruction or whatever, if I need it. Great Purge, another instant. Put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your library, draw a card. So if somebody is going ahead and trying to Bojuka Bog me, then I could use this real quick to save my stuff. Trading Post, here's another little sack outlet here, sack a creature, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So I got a lot of artifacts, or I can sacrifice an artifact and draw a card, make creatures, whatever. This guy will let me get, well, I'll read them. So, I'm not going to even pretend that I speak Chinese. Anyway, he has horsemanship, and I can sacrifice him and return target black card from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn before attackers are declared. So I could go ahead and get back maybe a card called Damnation, which will be relevant. Soul of Innistrad, return up to 3 creatures from my graveyard to my hand, or I can exile it from my graveyard and do the same thing. So, and it's got Death Touch. Sheldred, so I got to be a little careful with Phage on this one because it's going straight to the battlefield, but it's also going to make my opponent sacrifice creatures. the Praetors are always super powerful and a good thing to have on your side if you're not running a whole lot of creatures like I am. So I need that Torpor Orb in play or something like that. Vampiric Rites, so I can sacrifice a creature, gain a life, and draw a card. So if somebody's trying to blink Phage or take Phage or I don't know, whatever might end up happening, I can real quick, all right, I'm going to sack her and gain a life and draw a card. Insurance policy is what that is. Here's another draw card here, so pay life, draw a card. And here's another sack outlet, sacrifice a card in play and draw a card. So I guess if I have like way too much land, or if I need to sacrifice Phage or whatever's going on, I can do that and draw a card. So okay, Phyrexian Arena, more draw card. Erebos, in for the draw card, and also stops my opponents from gaining life, so it kind of slows that game down. And not that Phage really cares about life, but or life totals. And Bloodgift Demon, some more card draw. All right, we got Wax on Zenith, so I can put X11 counters on each creature, shuffle this back into my library, so it's basically reoccurring board wipe as long as I have the mana to pump into it. But this has actually been a pretty effective card for me, and it helps me get around Indestructible. Unstable Obelisk, nice little mana rock that lets me destroy any permanent. Hero's Downfall, get rid of a creature or planeswalker. Instant speed. Lethal Vapors is a really silly card. I gotta have a silly card in my deck, so here it is. So whenever a creature comes into play, destroy it. And then destroy Lethal Vapors, you skip your next turn. Any player may play this ability. So it just kind of makes this, it creates a really interesting board state. It's pretty fun. Damnation, great card. Anyway, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. That card should be reprinted. Crux of Fate, again, I can choose whether I want to destroy dragons or non-dragons, and actually the destroy all dragon creatures has been relevant every once in a while. All is Dust, each player sacrifices all colored permanents he or she controls. Those are all my board wipes here. Here we go, Scour from Existence. This card is so great. Every time I use it, I'm so happy that I have it in my hand. So exile target permanent. Karn Liberated, another way to exile target permanent, and so he's been pretty effective too. Ugin, the Spear Dragon, again, exile more stuff, get stuff out of play. Decree of Pain, nice destroy all creatures and possibly draw a ton of cards, or just cycle it for the -2/-2 and draw one card. And then Ingaruk's Wake, so I opened this in a pack and I was like, what the heck, I'll just throw it in there. So destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. And these are kind of like ways to get my life back up, alternate little, I don't know what you want to call them, win cons. So each exsanguinate, each opponent loses X life, you gain life equal to life lost this way. Gary, suck life from everybody. Exquisite Blood, I don't run the combo in this deck, so it's just Exquisite Blood by itself. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So it's a nice way to just kind of suck life off of people. And then Polluted Bonds, whenever a land comes into play under an opponent's control, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So again, just kind of taking this, constantly draining people. With those last few cards, you just kind of drain them to get enough life to keep going. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe and favorite CMDR decks.